Hey guys, welcome into a special Saturday edition of Fantasy Football Academy 2020. As always, I'm your host, the Dean, and I know I told you guys we were going to have Dustin from Keller's Bakery on, also owner of the Fighting Infernames here at our League of Record, but we've had a little bit of technical difficulties, so you guys get me. Now, I do encourage you, if you are in the Lafayette area, Youngsville, Broussard, you guys know where you're at. Okay, if I'm talking Greek to you, you're not in Louisiana, or you're at least not in this area. But if you are in any of the surrounding areas of Lafayette, I do encourage you to go check out Keller's Bakery at 627 Lafayette Street off the Youngsville Highway. I'm right now, Keller's Bakery has pies for Thanksgiving. We got all kinds of flavors. Check this out, okay? We've got chocolate, coconut, lemon meringue, apple, cherry, pineapple, pecan, and it's pecan, not pecan, okay? Just to let you know, we're in the South, it's pecan. Sweet potato, pumpkin, coconut custard pies, all available in 9 or 4-inch pie shells. And look, 4-inch, about this big. You don't want the whole pie. You don't want this big one. You're not bringing it to the family. You want to be a little selfish. You want a little something for yourself. Go get you a big 14-inch one. I'm sorry, a big 9-inch one, and take that to the family. Get yourself a couple of little 4-inch ones just for yourself, okay? Maybe the family likes sweet potato. You don't like sweet potato. That's fine. Go get you a big 9-inch sweet potato pie for the rest of the family. You can get yourself a lemon meringue or, a coconut or a pineapple. Look, I'm telling you, I've had some of these. They are phenomenal, okay? So remember, Keller's Bakery, 627 Lafayette Street off the Youngsville Highway. Also, you can find them on Facebook. Look, when you order, mention the Dean sent you, you get 2 free cookies. So you get a couple of little 4-inch and you get your 2 free cookies. You can't beat that. That is literally a sweet deal. Okay. So remember, Keller's Bakery, go down there. And if you go down there and ask and see if Dusty's working, tell him we said hi and tell him good job on trying harder. Okay. Because we're about to go highlight his matchup this week just for him, just for Keller's Bakery. You can see I've been preaching playoffs and being the spoilers and not giving up regardless of your record. Look, right now, between you and me, Dustin is in the running and is the lead dog for the Golden Plunger Award, which is given in our League of Record for the worst fantasy team. But we're going to see here in a few minutes, he's had a couple of bad stretches going all the way back to week 7. Okay, so he's got 2 wins on the season, and his last win came in week 6. Now, hopefully, he can pull out a win because he did take my advice. He did start Kenyon Drake. Drake had been on his bench, so I'm hoping that pans out for him. He took a couple other bits of advice from the Dean. So we're going to see if he can move to the head of the class this week or if he stays in the running and in the lead position for the Golden Plunger Award. Now, before we get into that, I want to get into a couple of quick injury announcements and some roster changes that have been going on here since we last spoke. So we had the Thursday night game, was not exactly what we had planned for Arizona-Seattle. We expected Arizona-Seattle to be an absolute bonanza for fantasy points, okay? Just an explosion of production, and it kind of fell flat. Was a very interesting game to watch, but fell flat. I myself had Tyler Lockett. I was expecting him to be kind of dinged up. He actually outperformed both D-Hop and DK Metcalf to my displeasure because he was on my bench, and I am facing my wife's team. So she beat me week 2, and I, needless to say, am losing to her currently because she has DK Metcalf. So I did start Christian Kirk because I did want a little bit of that game. So I got a little something. I'm only 4 points behind. We'll see how the Dean winds up at the end of the week. But in that game, Chris Carson out for that game. Carlos Hyde performed in a big way, got 17 points in our league of record. And guys, when I speak about points, your points may vary because of your the way that your platform is set up for scoring. So if your scoring is different in your league, then your points are going to be different from what I'm talking about. But still, good production from a backup running back. Okay, anytime you can throw somebody in your lineup and get 17 points, good job. Unless it's a quarterback. So Joe Mixon, I told you earlier in the week that we had to monitor his foot injury. He has been listed as out for this week. Also, Kenny G is still out, which means that Marvin Jones Jr. moves up to the top spot, but we also have to keep an eye on Matt Stafford. So if you are starting Marvin Jones Jr., good luck to you, and I hope that it pans out for you with having Stafford, maybe a little dinged up. He does have that torn ligament in his thumb. So making up new words here, guys. Laviska Shenault is out. That means that DJ Shark shoots up. And DeAndre Swift has been listed as out with a concussion. I believe he picked up in practice on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So DeAndre Swift dealing with concussion is out. That makes Adrian Peterson a real sneaky start if you want to get in. If you're struggling at running back, which a lot of teams are right now this time of year, dealing with buys, dealing with injury, dealing with COVID. So if you're looking for somebody to possibly break out, and I mean, Adrian Peterson, he lives for these moments. He's just waiting in the wings to show people that he's not an old man, that he's still got it, that he can still perform, that he's still worth a roster spot. Maybe on an NFL team, not on a fantasy team. But if you need a plug and play for this week, maybe you guys are one of your running backs is on a bye or they're hurt. Maybe you have Joe Mixon and you missed out on getting Giovanni Bernard. If you missed out on that, go get Adrian Peterson, plug him in, get some production. It's better to have some production than zero production. Okay, guys. Remember, it's better to have 50% of something than 100% of nothing. So, all right. So I think that's going to cover it for current injuries. But I do want to get into the Saints, and the reason that I wanted to have Dustin on is because Dustin is a diehard Saints fan, and I kind of wanted to get his take on the roster change on who is the starting quarterback. Came out earlier this week that Taysom Hill. I know I woke up to this. I saw it on my phone, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't think that Taysom Hill was going to be named the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints going in against the Falcons. Just stepping back away from it after the shock wore off, I get why, but if you're trying to win now, then I really don't think right now is a good time to go, hey, what do we have for our future? Guys, you're still in the running. James Winston is going to give you a better shot. I mean, this guy, yeah, he might be, a little inaccurate, but at least you can kind of play with the game plan a little bit. Putting everything that we've seen from Taysom Hill being in is, I'm not going to pass. I'm going to run the ball. I'm going to run the ball. I'm going to run the ball. You get where I'm going here? Not really a rocket science defense needed to, guard Taysom Hill. Is he good in those little gadget plays? Yeah, he's awesome. Okay. But can he lead a team? And I know that's what they're trying to get answered in this start. And going up against the Falcons D, maybe a few weeks ago before they fired Dan Quinn, yeah, you get away with it. Right now, under Fromell, they've been playing a little better. So now on the flip side of the ball, you got Calvin Ridley, who seems to be trending in the wrong direction. So there's another receiver on their squad, Zacchaeus. So if you have the ability to go out and get Zacchaeus, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his first name because I can't, and I wouldn't want to because my last name is unpronounceable to some people, and I hate it when they butcher it. So I'm not going to do the man the disservice of doing that. But I can pronounce Zacchaeus. So if he's on your waiver wire, go get him, plug him in. If you're missing, Calvin Ridley and you don't have any other better option out there, he's also a good stash. He's stashed on my roster in our league of record because, hey, if Julio goes down, if something's going on with Calvin Ridley's foot, we don't know what it is. We don't know how severe it is. So something to think about moving forward. And this is why I'm saying we're playing what? Chess, not checkers, when we go into the playoffs. Okay, guys? So we need to keep our focus on the weeks ahead. Now, some of you are win now, let next week take care of itself. And I get that. I understand it. I'm pretty much in the same predicament. Kinda. I'm 5-5. But we got a lot of jumbled pieces. We got some guys are 3-7. We've got Dustin at 2-8. So a couple of key wins here, a couple of key losses there, and these guys can still make the playoffs. That's what I'm telling you guys. Don't give up. Don't keep trying. Don't stop trying. Okay. So let's go in and we're gonna get a quick look here. This is Dusty's and the Fighting Infernapes, and I want to take you guys back to week 6. Okay. Week 6, he crushed Nick and New Car Smell. Go up here. Take a look at the box score. So the box score, we see Kenyon Drake just balling out. Lamar Jackson, balling out. Ronald Jones, balling out. Kenny Golladay was good and healthy. He did awesome. His kicker got him 20 points. I mean, are you kidding me right now? Okay. I'm sure at this moment, Dustin's thinking, man, this is awesome. I've even got David Johnson putting up almost 14 points on my bench. And I still can't start him because my other guys are just doing so well. Raheem Mostert, 9.6. Now we see his roster now. Kenny Golladay out. Raheem Mostert on IR. Lamar Jackson fell off a freaking cliff. David Johnson on IR. Teddy Bridgewater is not even on his roster anymore. Okay, guys? The Colts defense, not on his roster anymore. Now, we go to week 7. Tough break. Losing by 11. Go down here. See Russell Wilson just balled out this game. And this was the game against Arizona that he just went nuts. 388, 3 passing touchdowns. Did have the 3 interceptions, but 35 points. We see D-Hop went for a touchdown in 103. Jared Cook went for 12 against him. And then we look on the flip side. He started Teddy Bridgewater against New Orleans. Okay, thinking it's going to be a revenge game. Lamar Jackson was on a bye. Didn't start David Johnson against, or Deontay Johnson, put up 29. If he had to put Deontay in here, then Deontay could have won him his week. Okay. And these are the things that you look at. And these, like I said, there are some guys that you just plug and leave alone. Now, Deontay Johnson, for a lot of people, has been one of those type of guys. He's been up, he's been down, he might have been dinged up. If he's dinged up, yeah, you pull him out if you have a better option. Okay. But guys like Jarvis Landry, now this was a Cincinnati game. I get you're trying to recapture what happened the first time, but let's be real here, okay, guys? Always look at the better quarterback because that is part of the environment that we preach here at the Academy, okay? Look at the environment, and the environment for a wide receiver includes how good is their quarterback. Now, Jerry Jeudy in Denver is a very good wide receiver, but his quarterback sucks. It doesn't matter if you have an absolutely phenomenal world-class wide receiver. If you don't have a quarterback to throw him the ball, it's not going to matter. Okay, so make sure that that is factoring in to your decisions when you're thinking about starting and sitting certain players. Okay, guys? Now, we look at week 8. Week 8 just ran into a buzzsaw in the returning champs. Okay, and we go down here and we see he's still got Teddy B in against Atlanta. Lamar faced Pittsburgh, so I get why he didn't want to start him. He had Malcolm Brown, Kenny Golladay, I believe, got knocked out this game, so he was out. We look on his bench, and there's really not a whole lot. He was suffering from buys. He had David Johnson on a bye, Kenyon Drake on a bye, Washington on a bye. So with all of that going on, the Colts still got him 15 points. His kicker still got him 13. His kicker was doing phenomenal. He tried to ride the Scotty Miller train, and it got derailed. But this game, you really can't, games like this, you really can't do anything about. You just got to take your L and move on. So he moved on to week 9. Basically, the same thing happened. And he's just running into time after time, week after week, of running into just the wrong team at the wrong time. We see 1.6. I believe that's when David Johnson went out that game. But we look at his roster. Kenny Golladay was hurt. Raheem Mostert was on IR. Teddy Bridgewater actually showed up and did better than Lamar Jackson. And he was facing KC. So, I mean, they only scored, they scored 31 points. They almost beat KC. So, I mean, that was a really close game. Teddy threw for 310, 2 passing touchdowns, 19 yards rushing, and 1 rushing touchdown. Got him 32 points. But regardless, even if he had been in there, it still wouldn't have made a difference. Because you just run into those games like Will Fuller, Deshaun Watson. Keenan Allen had a big game that week. Tyreek Hill had a big game. So sometimes you just, like I said, you just run into those and you got to take your losses and move on. Now we move into last week. Last week was rough. I'm not going to lie. I thought he was going to pull this out against Chris and C's Cowboys. But we look at this and we see Aaron Rodgers and Josh Jacobs. Jacobs just ran all over Denver. DeAndre Swift ran roughshod over Washington. He had it rushing and passing. He got 68 yards passing. So a lot of those were receptions because we do run a full PPR. Even, the monster game by Rojo for Dustin still couldn't help him. David Johnson kind of fell flat in that game. Now we look down here. Now we see Lamar with 25. Then we got a 2-point difference there. Kenyon Drake, if he had started him over David Johnson, that would have been a better play. But we look down here, and there was just nobody on his roster that could have helped him. That's when you have to start asking yourself, should I be playing the waiver wire a little better, a little closer? So now week 11, we're in here, and we see a little more hope. Okay, we see a little more of a glimmer. And this is why I say you got to keep fighting. You got to keep scratching, because we've got 4 and 6 in the 7th spot, 1 spot out of the playoffs, but yet he's still got a guy on a bye on here. He's got 2 guys on a bye. Okay, so I'm not really seeing where the try is coming from. You got to have that try to get that win. Okay, now I see Dusty over here. He's made adjustments. He went out and got David Carr. He's not really comfortable starting Lamar Jackson this week. Can't really blame him. You got Lamar going up against Tennessee. Galladay out. David Johnson could come back. So that might be something. He's going up against New England. But having Rojo in there on a Monday night against the Rams, I'm not comfortable with it, but I understand having Damon Harris for New England going up against Houston. I like it. I think it's a good move. Still got Koo. He's not letting go of him. He's been like his most solid. It's pretty sad when your best performer or your steady performer has been your kicker. So, but this guy's getting him same production as a low end RB2. Okay. Washington against Cincinnati. I like that play. I think if you pressure Burrow, which he's going to get pressure a lot, it could lead to turnovers. Do want to show you guys this right here, though. I want to show you the transactions, and I want to do this for a very simple reason. We look here, Dusty, look, Teddy Bridgewater got hurt. He put him on the free agent market. He went and picked up David Carr, okay? Moved Washington to his defense. We see he ditched the Saints, going up against the Falcons, knowing that it's going to be a high-scoring affair. So we see a lot of movement here on Dustin's part, okay? And that's what I'm talking about, guys. Even though he's 2-8, he's still out there fighting, swinging, trying. So what have we learned today as we wrap this up? We wrap this up knowing that even though you're down, even though you're out, you're never totally out unless you stop trying. So keep swinging, keep working that waiver wire, work those trade options. Always remember who to go to, and how do you find that out? Down at the bottom, subscribe, like, and share. Leave me a message about who you're going after and what position the team that you're aiming for is in, because that's going to determine whether or not they're willing to let go of certain players. So, guys, for Fantasy Football Academy 2020, I've been the Dean. Remember, go visit my buddy down at Keller's Bakery, 627 Lafayette Street, off the Youngsville Highway. And remember, tell them the dean sent you, get you 2 free cookies, and for God's sakes, go get a pie, guys. It's that time of year. They've got awesome pies. Guys, go down there. Trust me. When it comes to food, trust me, I won't steer you wrong. Okay? You guys take it easy. Good luck this weekend, and we will see you next time on Fantasy Football Academy 2020.